Oh yeah, nice shirt. My design came out great. Yep, everything's good. Mic good. Video good. Let's look at that video. Why are my nipples always so hard? That's embarrassing. Hey, what's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Neil here, and I'm rocking my own design shirt. Dope creator, because I find that I am one. Maybe I'm just biased. But if you are a dope creator as well, I'm going to be offering these shirts pretty soon. And I'm going to have them in white and black. And then also they're going to be unisex shirts for men and women. And then I'm going to also have hoodies available. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe to this channel where I talk about budget gear, recommendations, and reviews. So today I'm going to be talking about these items that I have here in front of me, which are 5 items that you need for your camera, in my opinion, that are all under $100. So, having said that, let's get into it. Alright guys, so welcome back. So let's talk about these 5 items that I have here in front of me. We'll start with some audio here. So this is the infamous Rode Video Micro. Yes, Video Micro. Little small, tiny microphone that you put on top of your camera that's going to give you obviously better audio than say the audio that is captured from your camera. No cameras typically give you good internal audio, so having something like this external microphone is definitely a good option to have. This is a very infamous mic. If you don't know about it, it's really good quality. A lot of vloggers use it, and it's typically used for a vlogging aspect. Now, I've seen some YouTubers that for some reason use it as a little boom mic, which you can do as well. I just wouldn't use it for that application unless I had no absolute choice but to use it for that. I would use it for a vlogging aspect. So really no frills about it. It's just a nice microphone. Comes with a Ricodi or Ricodi, however you say that, little shock mount. Cold shoe mount here on the bottom to insert that into the top of your hot shoe on your camera. And then also this little dead cat kind of like windscreen that comes with it as well. And you can get this mic for about $50 to $60. Usually it's around $60, but sometimes it goes on sale on, say, Amazon, and you can pick that up for around $50. But typically the price is $60. So think about that if you want some really good audio, if you're doing vlogging, or if you're speaking like really close to the camera, maybe a few feet away, and you're doing like talking head videos, this would work for you. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about is something that I just got recently, which I absolutely love, and that is this light here, the Aputure MCRGB. It's a fantastic light, and if you haven't seen that review on the light, I'm going to link it up in the card here. Take a look at that after this video, if you will. This light's pretty awesome for a lot of reasons. Like you'll see in that video, has a magnetic back, it's USB-C rechargeable, it'll last you for 2 to 3 hours depending on the brightness and the intensity that you have it at. It does RGB, you can control it with your smartphone, all the different custom settings, the color modes, all of that good stuff, and this would make an excellent camera just to have. So for instance, if you're shooting at night, or if you have a dark scene that you want to, light up, this camera would do the trick. And it could go on top of your camera, but it doesn't come with any sort of mount. So what you would have to do with this threaded hole here on the bottom is get like a monitor mount or something like that, and then you can attach it onto your camera, but make sure your monitor mount has something like a hot shoe attachment, so that way you can just slide it on top of your camera. Or it does have the magnetic back, so if you have a metal surface that you can use or something like that, it will actually adhere to that surface and it won't move, so you can use that as your mount. Or you can use something like a mini tripod or a Switchpod or something like that, which we're going to talk about this guy in just a minute as well. So this light is not quite below $100, but it's very close, so I wanted to add it in because it's such a powerful and great little item to have to go on top of your camera to light a scene, especially if you're doing video or something like that and you don't have a super fast lens and you just need a couple of more stops of light. This will do the trick in most cases, unless you're in pitch black dark. But this is a very handy thing to have, and I would definitely recommend it for your camera and have it in your bag. So next, something that's not really fancy or a lot of frills, if you will, but this case made by Honski, which is a nice little hard shell case, really good and durable. I've actually dented this thing up, dropped it several times, but the cool thing about it is it will protect, and it takes up to 8 SD cards in this fold type of wallet scenario. This is around 20 bucks on Amazon, and I'm going to leave links for everything in the description below. But this is a really nice way to store your cards and keep them protected, and just a simple way just to throw it in a bag, or heck, even for that matter, throw it in your pocket. It's so small, so that way you make sure you don't forget it. Put it in your pocket if you don't have a bag. But this is a good way to store all your SD cards, up to 8. In fact, if you have 8 SD cards, that's a good way to store them. So this Honski protector, 20 bucks. Another thing that you should consider having, which is a lifesaver if you are shooting wide open, or if you are shooting outdoors and maybe you're not shooting wide open with a fast lens like a f1.4, 1.8, 2.8, whatever you have. A lot of times in broad daylight, if you're wanting to shoot really fast on your lens and have that tone, thanks Casey, Camera Conspiracies, check him out, he's awesome. If you want that tone, then you need an ND filter, because other than that, you're gonna stop down to f8, f11, f16, and you lose your blurry background, especially if you're doing like something like video. Typically, depending on the type of video that you're shooting, you want to have it wide open so you do have that depth of field. ND filters are a lifesaver. This is a variable ND filter from K&F Concept. I can't remember the actual stop, but I think it's like 4 to 16. And they make different ones that are variable, so you can get like 4 stops, 8 stops, 16 stops, all the way up to 32 stops. This particular one is the one I use. I have another K&F because I really do like them, and it comes with a nice coating on the front. It doesn't cause any vignetting like a lot of the cheaper ND filters do, and I find it really easy to use. Just screw it right on the front of your lens, and obviously you will have to get the certain filter size. This is a 72 and this is a 52, but you would have to get the certain filter size for your lens. Just look on the front of your lens or somewhere around your lens, and it should give you that number, millimeter, and then that's the ND filter that you would get. So what the ND filter essentially allows you to do is shoot wide open. So say for instance you had a 1.8 or 2.8 lens and it's just super bright outside, and you don't want to crank up your aperture and lose your depth of field. Well, by having this on the front of your lens, you can manually adjust how much light is coming in and stop down the light that's coming into your lens. So that way you can shoot wide open, and that allows you to not only just block out the sun, but shoot that fast lens that you have and you probably paid all that money for, while still maintaining the depth of field that you want. So this particular one that I use the most is a 72 millimeter because I use it on my Sigma 18-35 on the Fuji X-T4. This one was only $45.99, so 46 bucks essentially. And yes, there are more expensive filters out there that you can get, but I don't buy into the hype. I do want to try the Freewell filters out, which are really, really nice from the videos that I've seen and the footage that I've seen, but those are around 110 bucks. This one at $46 is a really, really good value. I'm thoroughly impressed with the price point and the performance of these variable ND filters. So again, K&F Concept, again, link in the description below. So last but not least, the Switchpod, which is a really nice kind of tripod setup that you can use. Now currently I have the Akaso Brave 7 LE action cam, which this is going to be a video on the channel very soon in the next couple of days. Real quick, I'll talk about this camera because it's not $100, it's about $140. But I just wanted to say that the video coming up, I think is really, really gonna impress a lot of folks. It's a third of the price of basically the DJI Osmo Action, and I think every bit is good. Anyways, we're talking about the Switchpod. Really nice aluminum construction, great for a vlogging setup, great if you want to do an action cam, if you want to do your regular mirrorless camera, you know, whether you have Canon, Sony, Fuji, this is really a vlogger's dream. And I did a video about this as well, which I will link in the card. But it's really nice. It's a standing 3-leg tripod. Now, you don't get the ball head with it, so I would recommend, you know, if you have a ball head, definitely use it, because that does give you some versatility on adjusting kind of like your aspect of your camera and rotating the ball head on it. And you can have the camera either pointing down at you or pointing up slightly or something like that. But this is a per gear ball head on there. I'll leave the link for the description in that as well, because it's only about $40, so that's another item that I think you need. It's a must with the Switchpod. And the Switchpod itself is right at $100 at $99.99. So that's why it's included in this list. But a very nice tripod to have for vlogging aspects, for just sitting down and maybe getting some time-lapse footage of your, you know, video that you're doing or something like that. And just all around a good little tripod, mini tripod to have. And actually what you can do as well, if you wanted to, is mount, say, something like the Aputure MC light that we were talking about earlier on here, if you needed somewhere for the light to sit for, you know, lighting a scene or something like that. So it comes in handy for multiple things, not only just for putting cameras on it. Action cam, vlogging cam, you know, any kind of camera that you have, mirrorless, probably up to, say, maybe 4 or 5 pounds is what I would trust on this with the ball head. Now, depending on the ball head you have, which, you know, this is a super duper, like, in my opinion, heavy duty one. Per gear makes a really nice ball head. But the Switchpod itself, really nice all metal construction, and actually has some thread holes, little quarter thread holes on each side of the 2 outer legs. So that way you can mount other stuff. So if you had like a little magic arm that you wanted to use, say, in like a little tiny monitor, for instance, if you had a camera like the Sony a7 III or any other camera that didn't have a flip around articulating screen, you can mount a little monitor there. Now, it's going to weigh on your arm a bit, I agree, but it's definitely an option to have. I do like that they did add the threaded holes there. So, Switchpod, $99, ball head, $40. I think they go hand in hand, which makes the price of it a little bit more combined than $100. But it's up to you whether you want to use the ball head or not. It does come ready to go out of the box. You can mount your camera on it, whether it's an action cam or DSLR, mirrorless, etc., etc. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Just wanted to give you my opinions on these items that I think everyone should have for their camera and in their bag. And if you could think of anything else that you want me to cover, leave it down in the description below. I'll be more than happy to try and get those products and give my opinion on them. And if you like videos like this, please consider subscribing and hitting that thumbs up, because it goes a long way. It helps the channel out, and I really appreciate you guys stopping by to take the time to look at the videos. It means more to me than you know. So let me know what you think about these products down in the comments below. I would curiously like to know if you already have these or if you plan on getting some of these to use with your camera. So I appreciate you guys stopping by, and then until the next video, hasta luego.